and gentlemen, welcome to HQ Trivia. I'm Beric Livingstone. It's Thursday. It's theme night. And if this theme were a boy's name, it'd be Josh. If it were a bird, it'd be a lark. If it were a goat, it would be a kid. If it were a bone, it would be the humorous. If it were a food, it would be ribs. If it were a fizzy drink, it would be a lollipop. Stay with me. If it were a smart drug, it would be a wisecrack. And if it were people on the chat telling me to shut up, it would be a gag. No more clues. It's comedy night. Yes, comedy tonight on HQ. You'll be glad to hear that this will involve almost no further attempts at comedy from me. Instead, we will have 12 trivia questions on a whole range of comedy subjects. The jokes, the comedians, the programs, the prizes. Speaking of which, there is £1,000 to be won or split if you can get all of tonight's questions right. Use your wit and skill in little grey cells, and if all else fails, use an extra life, one per game except on the final cue, and stick around, even if you get eliminated, because there will be a little something special happening at a later point in the game. Okay, let's get straight on to Q1. A joke consisting of one or two lines is commonly called what? Bin-liner, Carolina, one-liner. Short joke as in Velcro, what a rip-off. If you chose Carolina, then I'm afraid you're the joke here. Spelt out for you in the question, it's a one-liner. A one-liner, of course it is, nothing finer. 95,731 of you getting that right. If you chose Carolina, then you were amongst 808 who did. There have been tons of one-liner comics over the years, including Tommy Cooper, Tim Vine, and Jimmy Carr's Laugh. I can't really do it exactly because it's copyrighted. But anyway, let's move on to Q2. A popular stereotype joke asks about various people changing what? A bed, a light bulb, a TV channel. Yes. This became popular in the 60s in America, of course, before moving over here and taking over. I'm better at changing costumes, but which of these is a bona fide formula for funny? Still giving us fresh ideas, it's a light bulb. A light bulb, and switched on 89,816 of you. One of my faves is how many flies does it take to screw in a light bulb? 2, but nobody knows how they got in there. Coming up on Sunday, our big game hosted by Queen Shazza Carpenter, our regular round of questions on all kinds of subjects, served up with 5 times the prize money, so don't miss that. Q3. What were the names of the 2 fictional DJs that appeared in Harry Enfield's sketch show? Smashy and Nicey, Adam and Eve, Tom and Jerry. This is the TV show from the 1990s that introduced us to Tim Nice but Dim, and Wayne and Waynetta Slob, and these were the banter boys of Fab FM, but what were they known as? Breaking and welcoming, it's Smashy and Nicey. And nice work if 71,306 of you smashed it. They were loosely based on the past their prime Radio 1 DJs, with the fake Bants and faker Tans turned up to 11. Q4. Comedian Rich Hall is said to be an inspiration behind which character in The Simpsons? Homer, Sideshow Bob, Moe. Yeah. Rich Hall, American comedian of course, has an alter ego who's a country singer, was on Saturday Night Live, king of sketch comedy. These are 3 of Springfield's less than complimentary characters, but who's a yellow version of Rich Hall? More crabby than stabby, it is Moe. Moe, the right answer. There is a resemblance if you check it out. 36,816 of you getting that right. But the first one today, there was a little bit beastly. We lost about half of you. Rich is known for his dark sense of humour, so it's no surprise that he saw the homage as an honour. Sideshow Bob is more how I think of myself, if I let my hair grow out. Anyway, Q5. A song written by Bob Dylan was used as the theme to which sitcom? Outnumbered, Absolutely Fabulous, The Vicar of Dibley. Phil Johnson said, I always enjoy Bob Dylan songs, as long as someone else is singing them. If you went for The Vicar, then I pray you have an extra life handy. Giving itself a glowing review, it's absolutely fabulous. And that goes for 18,540 of you who got that right. Dylan may have written This Wheel's on Fire, but it was Julie Driscoll's version that was used in Ab Fab. I like the Susie and the Banshees one myself. Now, I told you we had something special. Here comes a gift drop. When the chest appears on your screen, tap it. Keep tapping. Ready, set, drop. Tap, keep tapping. Tap like you're in a tap room, tapping into tapenade, tapas and tapioca. Did you find an extra life? A quarter of you should have done. Let's move on to Q6. Who was the first solo female winner of the Best Comedy Show Award at the Edinburgh Festival? Victoria Wood, Jo Brand, Jenny Eclair. This is an award that's been given to Steve Coogan, Frank Skinner. Rose Matafeo won it this year. She's of Samoan, Croatian, Scottish origin, but she's from New Zealand. Anyway, Emma Thompson was part of the posse who won the very first award, but who was the first woman to win it on her own? Spikier than she sounds. It's Jenny Eclair. Jenny Eclair. 5,096 if you got that right, but it's the first savage question of the day as we lost 15,500 of you. Jenny Eclair, if you watch a lot of daytime TV, you'll see her doing some ads at the moment with her typical dry sense of humour. Jo was nominated in 1992, but Jenny won it in 1995. Q's. Quick first, before we do some more Q's, let's have a quick shout-out. Let's shout out to Kono Girl. Hello. To Ryan and Callum from Sheffield and Dublin. And finally, to Heather and Rhiannon from Wales. And now, let's do another question. How about Q7? Yes. Which of these comedians was born in England? Eddie Izzard, Tim Minchin, Spike Milligan. Yes. An Englishman, an Irishman, a Scotsman, two nuns and a horse walk into a bar. The barman says, is this some kind of joke? He may be a national treasure, but Izzard was actually born in the Yemen. Putting those piano lessons to excellent use, it's Tim Minchin. Yes, and getting an honourable mention, 3,155 of you. But another one that is very busy, let's call it savage. Let's say savage because 5,500 of you left us with one fell swoop. 3,155 getting it right, 884 using extra lives to get back in. See how much they're worth. His accent may be upside down, but Tim was born in Northampton. Wherever did he leave? Q8. Which of these is not a title of an international adaptation of BBC's The Office? La Job, Le Directeur, Le Bureau. Yeah, this is the first British sitcom in over 25 years to be nominated for a Golden Globe and the first ever to win it. The American translation seems to have hit the mark, but which of these versions did we make up? The bogus boss himself, it's Le Directeur. And if you got that right, you are going directly into the next round. 1,512 of you did. 2,500 eliminated. I'm not going to call that savage. I'm just calling that rah, quite beastly with fangs on, some long claws, sort of raving about in the dustbins. Anyway, The French Bureau aired in 2006, followed by its Canadian cousin, La Job. All of them quite brilliant. Q9. Which comedy performer, originally a stage star, had the middle name Wilde? Stan Laurel, Charlie Chaplin, Dan Leno. I'll give you a clue. All three of them had middle names. There are three classic cackle inducers, but who had the silly middle name to match? The oldest of the old schoolers, it's Dan Leno. Dan Wild Leno. 960 of you knew that. We lost 1,000 there. Leno more than lived up to his name, playing pantomime dames on stage and an erratic alcoholic off it. Empathy. Q10. Which comic took his mum around the US for a TV documentary series that first aired in 2016? Ross Noble, Russell Howard, Russell Brand. Yeah, which comic took his mum? It sounds so easy when you read it again. They've all got funny accents, but who's the mega mummy's boy? Blagging a holiday as a business expense. It's Russell Howard. Howard. Not odd enough for 791 of you who got that right. Howard and his hilarious mum planted up Northern Europe next with a tour of Asia to follow. Q11. Who wrote of an island made of water and surrounded by earth in a 19th century children's comedy story? Lewis Carroll, Jerome K. Jerome, Edward Lear. Yes, was it an early climate change predictor or just a bit of surreal humour? Victorian humour was pretty weird, but who was responsible for this madness? The fool with two kings' names. It was Edward Lear. Yeah, Edward Lear. Not nonsense. 429 of you got that right. All right then. Banana peels at the ready, because we're slapsticking into people using extra lives to get back in, and £1,000 still on the table with one more question. Will it be savage? We never call it savage on the last question. But if you're into savagery, tune in on Saturday, because it's all savage all the time, and this time I'm going to get you I'm going to get more of you out. Yes. All right, Q12. Which of these was the first overseas stand-up comedian to play the O2 Arena in London? Jerry Seinfeld, Kevin Hart, Chris Rock. Take Madison Square Garden as the world's busiest music arena. Over 14,000 people turned up to see the show, but who were they there to see? Kevin Hart's playing there this Sunday, but we're after the guy who domed it up in 2008. The record-breaking rock star of Ruffling. In his first time in the UK ever, it was Chris Rock for the win. His first UK tour, 243 of you got that right. You're our winners tonight. 243 comedy winners, knowing their stuff and beating the odds to get through 12 questions in a row. You take home £4.11 or £4.12 for your trouble. So huge congratulations to AO Weeks, to Reb2506, to Rocky Rude 10, cute little smiley avatar there, to Jobo62, who's got great hair from the back, or possibly messy hair from the front. I can't tell. A little scary doll baby with a guitar, and some other people. Brilliant work to all of you, and brilliant work everyone. A lot of you know your comedy there. There's so much we could talk about with this subject, so maybe we'll have another comedy night sometime soon. Let me know what you think about that idea. I'm Beric Livingstone. You can find me on Twitter or Insta, or find us all at HQ Trivia UK. Sunday night is the big game, and we're back tomorrow at 9 with our regular wonderfulness. Another 12 questions and £1,000 to be won. Until then, just remember, life is a tragedy in close-up, but a comedy in wide shot. And the camera operator here is nodding in agreement. Good night.